Tfresh, okay. Tfresh wasn't there. I don't know.
Uh,
Tfresh.
yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna be doing Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga All Challenges, which is essentially it's a different type of level in Lego Star Wars. They have the main story mode, the free play mode where there's the white mini kits, and then there's challenge mode with these blue mini kits and other locations. Some of them very hidden away from casual players. But I'm going to be doing this in free play. We do not get extras and challenges; they're automatically turned off. But I'll be showing a variety of tricks, clips, wall climbs, whatnot. I'll explain them as I go. And with that, let's get the run started. Alright, so my timer starts once we load into the level. We start off with the ship level into this, our very RNG heavy section right off at the beginning here. So here we go. Once I load in, timer will start right now. So here I got the TIE Interceptor. I'm going to use that because this one-shots every torpedo ship. I'm going to try to get these torpedo ships towards me here.
Yeah, and another thing about challenges, I don't know if he mentioned it, but you have to get all 10 of the blue canisters.
Yes.
In every level.
Here we go. We're on a little shortage there, but this opening section can be pretty brutal. Oh, nice, we just blanked. That's an unfortunate side effect of torpedoes. They easily...
Scynor, you have no gameplay audio.
I should.
Yeah, you don't.
I hear it on my thing and should be on my stream.
Your stream has no gameplay audio. Your stream has nothing.
Let me try this one again. Go to properties here. Sorry for the delay here. Should be. Alright, check it now. A little delay at the beginning of the run, but don't worry. The estimate
there you go.
Yep, the estimate should be, I should be well under. So a little delay at the beginning is no problem. We got the two mini kits, or the two challenge kits here at the beginning.
Yeah.
There's no more in this opening section. And to be honest, like, thinking about this as a casual player, like, I do not know how, as a kid, I found these things, because some of them are just in such weird locations that no one would ever think of. This beginning level doesn't really showcase too much. It's got a couple of clips with your pod racer switching into Arc Fighter. It's a small ship switching into a huge ship, so you're able to clip into walls, some walls. And
yeah.
we'll skip a couple of doors towards the beginning here. Just having a lovely RNG here with these torpedoes.
Yeah, this is the reason we start with this level, is because the RNG.
Look at all, and of course they all come in at the end here. Also, I'm going to be using the pod racer quite a bit for movement speed here on these ship levels. So we got yeah, sorry, you can go.
Yeah, we are super lucky because the way the clips work is it's a similar way that other clips work later on in the game, but the pod racer is just a small hitbox that it can go into tighter spaces, and the Arc Fighter can't quite fit in those spaces. So when you switch to the Arc Fighter, it allows you to clip through. And we just happen to be very lucky that the Arc Fighter is always to your left, no matter what. It's always to your left in free play. It's like the developers knew. So we are very lucky with that.
The door there.
Yeah.
Skips having to shoot any of those torpedoes. I'm going to do another clip here through this one. This is a lot more tricky. There we go. We got that one. 6 entering this room. We are good. It's all about managing. It's a lot of memorization in this category, but it's also a lot of knowing the free play tricks and whatnot. Here, for this section, I'm gonna use the Falcon because it targets things like a 360 targeting system here. Yes. So it will shoot anything around it. While other ships, you would have to kind of go straight onto these lasers.
I would also say that this is probably one of the hardest categories in the game. I would say it's definitely harder than free
you
to
have
play.
to know where everything is, as well as all the free play strategies. You really missed that
And
one.
the thing about this category is that things are still active. Things can still aggro on you, and you can still die just because there's no
Yeah, you don't get
extras.
any extras.
So you have to
Unlike
be
free play.
very careful about that. This category is definitely much harder than free play, I would say. If you'll notice here, he's kind of switching back and forth between the pod racer and the arc fighter, and that is because, first of all, he doesn't want to miss those mini kits. And second off, if you hit any one of those poles, you slow down a bunch, and then you can also die repeatedly. So you definitely don't want to do that. So you'll see
Here's
him
the
switching
last
back
one
and
coming
forth.
up on the left here. Yeah, so this is Into Death Star is one of the hardest and longest challenge levels in the run.
Yes.
So I'm gonna be heading
And
to our first
now,
level, Jedi Destiny.
and this level is very short.
Yes. It's a small area. They packed in all the challenge kits very closely here. I'll also be doing the first clip of the run where well, it's a ceiling without a hitbox, so it's essentially a triple jump, but you'll be seeing triple jumps here. Where a quick little character switch and a slam at the top of a double jump and a switch will actually give you a huge height boost, which you'll see this in many categories like all mini kits, free play,
Yes.
and pretty much
The reason being for that is because you get height from a Jedi Slam, and for whatever reason, the game just kind of like freaks out and gives you more height when you switch.
the special thing, we'll be using Yoda quite a bit because Yoda has a special thing where when he does a triple jump, he can sometimes clip through ceilings entirely, which we're going to take advantage of that. Here, the ceiling just doesn't have that collision, so we'll get to take advantage right here. I accidentally went into this little thing, but I can clip out of this. There's a good example of a Yoda clip. Basically, just clip right through the ceiling.
It's because Yoda has such a weird hitbox.
Yeah. And also, we'll be using Grievous a couple of times for a couple of tricks called wall climbs, which those are even more insane than. Oops, this is not mini kits where you exit. Where you basically can just climb up walls, specific walls. You can't do it everywhere, but Grievous can climb up walls, which will definitely help us in certain areas get over the ceiling and out of bounds. All right, very short level there of Jedi Destiny going on to Battle of Endor.
And Endor has some very weird challenge kit placement.
Yeah.
I literally don't know how I found these as a kid.
Yeah,
Because
this is
these
a good
are
example of
hard.
ones where you're like, how the hell did I find this?
Like this one that's coming up.
Yes, and of course I need to get
you missed.
Yes.
See, even
See, this is one of the ones that like way back here. How would I find that one?
How would you know this is there?
There's one more here in this opening section. We got 3 here.
Yeah.
There we go. Triple jump these gaps. Don't need to do any of the puzzles and whatnot.
Yeah, triple jumping is incredibly broken.
Unfortunately, this is one of the few sections in the game where you actually can't skip it. Like in free play, most of the sections you can clip through a wall, ceiling, and get out. But this is one of the very few sections where you actually can't. Should have grabbed that kit a little bit later on. I should have pulled the lever, then grabbed it, but that's all right. There's a little bit of 1P2C that you can do here. A little bit of a different setup, so I'm gonna avoid doing 1P2Cs probably this run. Only when I absolutely need to. There's a couple of interesting ones. Like, there's an interesting one of Falcon Flight where we're gonna flip a guy back and bounce. If I keep one out of bounds in the back, when we get there, I'll explain it. It's very weird.
Yes.
Alright, so we can just triple jump essentially right over these wooden gates. Very simple. And one thing I'll do here is up like this hill, up hills, where it's a little slow to roll Droideka, I can do a quick jump slash and then a switch to cancel the animation of Yoda's jump slash and switch to Droideka. And it's just it's slightly faster way of getting up hills because Droideka's a little slow and jumping is obviously a little too slow too. So here's 2 of them that are just way out of the way. Like, you would not expect to be here.
Like they're just like kind of sitting there.
So if you watched the any percent run yesterday, we have exploding blaster bolts, which you're able to just destroy these gates very easily with. But now we do not have that, no extras whatsoever. So we just have to use Boba, take advantage of his thermal detonator, and that will do the job there. As well as you saw in 6-6, we did not have infinite torpedoes, another extra that we had in the any percent race. So it's gonna affect all of our ship levels if we don't have a clip and we have to use torpedoes. The last one here is in the bunker. Unfortunately, there's hasn't been a skip found yet where you clip into the bunker here. We do know the load zone is there before the door opens.
Yes, because we have. Well, okay, so we haven't found a clip in free play, but we have occasionally gotten a clip in story. We have no clue why it works. Actually, I think I'm the only one who's ever gotten it, and I've gotten it twice. And we have no clue why it works.
Alright. And/or one of the longer ones, and ones where you have kits where you just don't expect them to be way out. Alright.
And another thing that
you can go to.
Another thing that you guys might notice is that when he's doing the triple jumps, he's switching a lot to the other character that's not Droideka. The reason why he's doing this is because Droideka moves slower in the air, and you also get more distance if you switch to someone other than Droideka. Droideka gives you more height, though. That's just another small time save.
So here, there is actually a wall climb you can do with Grievous, but I'm not going to do it because I want to get down to one speeder here. I'm going to do the speeder skip, which we did in the any percent. I want to get down to one speeder so I can do this little trick where I connect player 2 and get him off the speeder and grab one of the kits so I don't have to kill the guys on the speeder bikes. Sounds like a lot, but it will be understandable once I get there. I got to do the speeder skip, which we do in any percent right here. There it is. Alright, so now once you do that speeder skip, one of the bikes is behind the barrier now, so the other player will not be able to get to it, which I don't want.
It loses time because he has to remanage his characters, and then he also can't do the other skip.
Alright, so yeah, coming up here, all of the rest of the kits are on the way when you're in the bike. And there's one that's kind of not on the bike, but I'll do a little trick coming up here that will skip that entirely. So here we're gonna collect a couple of these on our way. It's right here. So this is a mini kits trick. I think Justin found it. So you kind of here, you connect player 2, drop out 1. He will jump out of the speeder for you. I'll drop out 2, and look, you're basically in the speeder showdown, in the speeder bike part. You can actually go explore. And here's one of the really cool things that happens with this. Look at the speeder right now. It is very screwed up. Unfortunately, once I shoot or do a spin, it will stop looking this way, but this way for as long as possible because it does look pretty cool this way. Yeah, I had to spin here, but it looked pretty cool for the time being. Last 2 kits coming up here.
This game is very weird.
Shooter Showdown, which is typically one of the longer levels. Broken speeder skip and little trick you can do in the bike make this a pretty short challenges level. Alright. We are off to Pitakarkin.
Yes.
Honestly, episode 6 has quite a few difficult levels for challenge. I would have to argue it's the hardest challenge episode. Episode 5 can also go up for argument as well.
Episode 5, I would say, is harder because it's the ship levels.
Yeah, there are a couple brutal ship levels in episode 5.
In this category, aside from Pod Race and Coruscant, like all of the ship levels are bad in my opinion. It's mainly because you don't have extras, so it just makes it a lot more annoying. There's also some very annoying clips in ship levels.
I'm only trying to do some animation cancels here, but without EBB, that Jango fight is Boba Fett fight, very strange. because he gets iframes quite a bit, and some of the
Yes, he
shots don't
does.
register. Right here, apparently, like, this platform, if you die on that ship, it will respawn you back on the fight ship for some reason. They just don't count that as a platform. So you have to be very careful there when you're flying, because you will go way back if you die.
Definitely don't want to die there.
Yeah, the one unfortunate part of challenges is no extra, so you don't get invincibility like free play. So in all these sections, you're dying a lot more than you would like to. And the fastest way to get rid of that is doing animation cancels. The Droidicut's the fastest method of killing people. Right here, I'm actually going to force confuse. Nice. Force confusion is a very broken mechanic here. I'm just going to kill them because force confusion doesn't seem to want to work today. I'll try it again.
Yeah, force confusion works.
This place on Carcoon and any percent is a very good representation of how broken it is. And in a bad way, not in a good way. So I'm going to make sure I grab that one on the left in a second here. I'm just going to open it up. There we go. That's open. Grab this one. While with R2, we can actually make it back. I think it's slightly faster than taking a death there. And here is one of, not the first, but one of the earlier Yoda clips here. Many people have preferences, whether that for clips that you switch to the player next to Yoda or Droidica. For me, personally, it depends on the clip, which is probably with most people, but typically I like to switch to Droidica for my clips. I'm Tfresh. What do you prefer to switch to?
I prefer to switch to the other character, but for that one specifically, I do use Droidica.
Yeah, because each one of these pretty much varies.
Yeah, for the most part, every single clip has a different timing. So free play that's why free play is one of the hardest categories, just because you have to know so much about each clip, so to get them consistently.
And as you can see, they're very small, minor detail, but I'm slashing into every mini kit just to get that extra speed to get into, to grab it and then keep moving. In that little animation cancel slash, like I was explaining about going up hills earlier. Alright, Jabba's Palace, the last challenge. Challenge level of episode 6. So one thing about all challenges, it saves a lot of time to first go through on your own the challenge in a save file and then restart them, because after every challenge level on a new file, I'll just fly across this one. After every new oh geez, okay, I did not know that this gap
you have to triple jump over this.
Anyways, there's a little cutscene that plays at the end of each level every time you complete it, which loses about like 5, 6, 7 seconds. I'm not exactly sure how much per level, but that adds up throughout the run. So it's good to have your challenges start on a new file, or sorry, have your first challenges run start on a file where you've already completed all the challenges.
Yeah, it just gets rid of the cutscene at the end of the level.
Jabba's is quite a fun level. There's a lot of...
Yeah, and right there is an example of a clip with Droidica's hitbox. That one's not a traditional Yoda clip because you're not actually triple jumping. And also right there is a Yoda grab. Yoda just has a really weird hitbox, and it works better if you switch to someone with the lightsaber, and you have their lightsaber out. But basically, what you just switch from one of those skirmishes back to Yoda, and then Yoda will just grab the kit. And what he did right there was actually a transition skip. He just did a triple jump over the transition.
To then get out of bounds, because there's usually like a place where there's just no hitboxes on the backside of the transition. You can just fall under the ground. Also, what I did there, sometimes for me when I play controller, and my controller will disconnect on me if I connect player 2 and then have player 1 off screen. It's a strange thing. I think it happens to most controller keyboard players. I know it happens to chess.
I think I'm the only one that has never happened to me before.
Because that unfortunately happens to me on a lot of clips in this game. It happens once during any percent as well, during Hawk Battle. Here's a cool little clip through the ceiling. Jabba's Palace, like I said, is pretty broken. We're going to have a couple of clips in a row up here. This one's a little tighter on the ceiling. Because each triple or each Yoda clip is a different time triple jump. And it all, like, each one varies. So that one was a very quick timing since we were very close to the ceiling. This one's going to be a little more delayed. This is a pretty tough one. But, oh, okay. Got it right away. That's nice. Coming up on the end of Jabba's here, there's a couple more clips. As you can see, if you watch the 80% run, you would have to do all these levels every room normally. And essentially in free play, you can skip through almost every room other than a very, very few exceptions. There's Jabba's in episode 6. One of the more difficult ones and challenges has been completed.
And that was actually pretty clean Jabba's.
I'm going to the route here. We normally would start at Mall and go up to 6-6, but recently Tfresh changed the route, and it makes a lot of sense because it wasn't really necessary that we had to start on episode 1. There's nothing that was like limiting us from starting at 6. So now that like we can start in the original trilogy with the hard times are getting better because more reasonable resets and more original trilogy play and practice and whatnot. Just a nice little addition to the route here. Alright, unfortunately missed that jump. I'm gonna have to watch the cutscene here. Annoying, but it's fine. Luckily, they made that Boba panel accessible and not like I don't know, not know why, but in story he opens it. I don't know why they just made it unaccessible until he's played through the cutscene and whatnot. But in free play, you can just open the panel normally with Boba. All right, coming up to the upper area of this level. This level really doesn't have too much. There's a little clip you can do there. It's very inconsistent. I still don't go for it.
Yeah, I think that's actually a max height triple jump.
Oh yeah, right here at this door, there's a. I was talking about, okay, that door, there's the wall climb, or you can do a max height triple jump. But I was talking about the 3PO panel.
Oh.
Going to the helmet room. There's actually a clip there, but it's pretty difficult. Do a little sequencing of jumps there. Get me up there and get the kit, and we got 3 more all laid in this end section. One kind of hidden up top here, which another one casual players probably wouldn't find, since I don't think that one you can ever see on screen. You would actually have to collect that off screen. Basically, yes. All taken care of. Here I'm going to do a little bit of character management. Although, actually, I want to get my player 2 to Grievous here, so I'm going to have to manage that again, because next level we have our first wall climb in Cloud City. Oh, switched a little early off there. Alright, let's get across here. Switch the Grievous here. I believe we have him. We do. And I'll take the little scenic route here, as advertised by Justin's any percent run. We did that, and we got our setup for next level, Droideka Grievous, which we'll be doing our first wall climb.
I guess nothing that's worth noting is the character wheels. So they're always the same for the most part for every single level. So like the droids will always be to the left of the Droideka. And then to the left of that will always be a high jumper. And to the left of that will always be a small character. And then to the left of that should always be either a bounty hunter or a Dark Force user.
So right here, you can just skip this whole entire opening thing with the fly across the gap. There's a little clip here, but I do not have Yoda. It's a bigger time save to, just open the panels normally without any of the clips on this one, and then do the wall climb. Because the wall climb skips the whole entire Darth Vader 2 fight. There's a clip you can do in story with Yoda, or sorry, free play, RTA we do it with Yoda, that skips the Darth Vader 2 fight from the room before actually, which is pretty insane, but there's a challenge kit in there we need to collect, so it's not really viable for all challenges. Grab this one. And we can just skip this room completely because the panels there. Sometimes there's a soft lock that can happen to you where this panel doesn't show up, like you can't activate it at all, which that's very unfortunate. It's happened to, I know, Justin waiting into his any percent runs. Definitely a run killer because you would have to restart the level. Run killer in basically any category. So here's the first wall climb to skip this whole entire fight.
Yeah. And the way wall climbs work is Grievous has such a large hitbox, same as like the Droideka. And basically what you do is switch to a smaller character, and then when you switch back to Droideka, you have... So, hold on. So you switch to the other character, and you hold forward into the wall, and then if you let go of inputs, you just hold neutral on the stick, and you switch back to Grievous, you'll be sitting on a little platform for just a few seconds, and it gives you time to get another triple jump off and get over the wall. It's definitely one of the harder free play tricks, I would say.
Alright, since your player 2 automatically switches to R4 at the end of this level, I'm going to have to quickly mention before Dagobah. It's a simple player 2 connection, and then I gotta go get him over to Yoda. Which I didn't connect player 2. There we go. There we go. There's a weird little thing at the beginning. You can't actually jump for some reason. For player 1, you can't switch or jump. Or sorry, you can jump, it's just you can't switch, which Droideka cannot jump. So there, you can't jump. But with player 2 connected, you're able to jump because your player's there. Which I gotta go back here, I'm not gonna take that. I gotta triple jump over this.
Yes.
There's another way you can, there's a transition here. I'm gonna take this way to exit this room. I don't know why, but that would be a slow way to enter. Definitely worth just triple jumping over that wall. You don't want to switch there. Caught up there, I was gonna triple jump the gap, but some gaps are just not worth triple jumping. There's a little skip you can do here by jumping into the platforms in the water. I personally struggle with it, but I know it's not. I just personally struggle with it. Tfresh, if you want to kind of explain this, since I know you do it.
Yeah, so basically the way it works is the platforms are still there, actually, which is weird, even though they're in the water. So if you just fly to where the platforms are, you can just jump on them. So it's just, and they're actually in a little bit of a different spot, which is weird when they're not up. But it's not too tricky to learn where they are.
Alright, you have to kind of go into this side room here, which in any percent and in most other categories, you just completely skip this room. Gotta quickly go into it, grab a kit, and get out. Little training room. Dagobah really is a pretty much straightforward level. There is one clip that skips the Darth Vader fight up here. I'm gonna do.
Yes, and that clip is another one of the Droideka clips, because as far as I know, you can actually do it with any... You should be able to do it with almost any character. Because I know, because we used to do it with Grievous in free play, but now we do it with Yoda.
Yeah, you're able to do it pretty much with everyone, as long as you end up as Droideka.
And the reason why is just because Droideka, again, has a very weird hitbox. Like, you'll notice in some places later on, you can just run into minikits that are, like, behind things, and he'll still pick it up just because of his enormous hitbox.
Alright, so I'm gonna take the pathway of not hitting Vader here. This is gonna be kind of annoying. I think I'm just gonna kill him, get him out of the way. It does unfortunately play a little cutscene, but it's worth it. It gets him out of the way. It makes this clip a lot more simpler. So you gotta wait till the box comes. It's hard to position yourself because the depth perception is kind of weird here. And then once you kind of get pushed a little bit, you switch to Droideka and you're clipped out.
You also want to be careful here just to make sure to hit the transition from the front, not from the back. Otherwise, you will just reload the room, because I've definitely done that.
Yeah, and then that's unfortunate because the clip you've just done, you have to do it again. Alright, well, let's see who ends up. Looks like my player 2 is going to end up as 3PO, but that's okay. We're going into ship levels here, Falcon Flight, where I'm going to do a very interesting one piece. I'm going to enter the background of the level, bring my player 2 back, and keep my player 1 level to grab one of the challenge kits, and then I'll drop out 2, and then continue out of bounds with player 1. It's a really strange...
And the annoying thing about it is if player 1 comes back inbounds, you lose around a minute.
Yeah, then you have to go get torpedoes from inside the monster.
Yeah, my PB comes back inbounds.
Take a little risky strat here. I've always done this where there's one challenge kit here behind that ship that I just passed, and it's on a timer. This opening section, destroy that final turret. The section's on a timer to hit the next area, so it's a little risky not going and grabbing that challenge kit early, because if you miss it, there's no way of going back to the opening section, and you're just gonna have to reset the level. This area, it's Falcon Flight's one of those places where memorization really helps.
So I don't know if you know, but it's just right, left, right, left, right, left, right for everything.
It's a little alternate. And it's kind of weird grabbing these ones because you can't really tell.
Yeah, and you can get in very annoying situations where you just kind of keep getting flipped around repeatedly.
So right here, I'm gonna do a little barrel roll and then clip through this wall. There's one right here that's kind of, you can easily miss that one if you do the clip. All right, coming up on this section where it's a little right, left here, and whatnot. See, here's a little annoying situation. I'm gonna have to switch to the arc, try to get this. See, like, you think you're gonna hit it, but it's really hard with the depth perception here. Jeez, I can't get this one.
Yeah, it's very annoying to get some of them. And you kind of get stuck like in situations where it won't let you switch to the arc fighter, so you can't even it's some of these are just in really bad spots.
Yeah, that is one of the many on this level that are just in a really bad and annoying spot here. Hopefully this one will go a lot smoother. There we go. And here's the really strange clip where, so I'm going to first clip out of bounds, and then I'm going to enter the background of the level by hitting, there's a weird little block you hit out of bounds here that just like brings you into the background of the level. It's coming up right, so this is normally, I'm normally out of bounds here, and then I hit this part right here. The camera will go really strangely behind.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop in 2, try to keep player 1 out of bounds. So I bring in player 2 in, grabbing the kit, dropping him out. Player 1's still out of bounds. I'm going to bring him over to the transition over here. There it is. Okay, reload the room, hit it from back. Fine. And now the final room, there's 2 of them. And
all challenges does not include extra levels, because the extra levels don't have a challenge mode.
Alrighty, so there is one of the 2 really brutal ship levels done in episode 5. We have another pretty challenging one in Echo Base. This is a ground level. There's quite a few clips through ceilings and whatnot here, so we're gonna have to get Yoda on our player 2. That's why you want to end as many levels with the free play there, with the correct characters for the next level that you need, so you don't have to just like player 2 management here at the beginning. All right. We'll see how the clipping goes for me on Echo Base. It is quite a clip-heavy level with Yoda clips and whatnot.
The thing about Echo Base is the clips are, they're actually pretty difficult. I think you have a smaller window. I think the walls are a bit thicker here, or the ceilings are a bit thicker, so you have a smaller window for your timing.
Yeah, I was just struggling with that one to get out of that room. There's a clip here, but this is near impossible. I've gotten like a couple. See if I can get it while this. Yeah, it's not even worth doing that area with the clip. It's just worth doing it casually. It's not even that much longer. Here, unfortunately, you can skip this section, but there's a challenge kit in the room where you get C3PO in story. So I'm just gonna open up this. Try not to build. I'm trying to open up this 3PO. I cannot. I could not detonate that one because kept building. I'll grab that in a second. It's fine. Annoying little time loss, but it's fine. I'm gonna have this push this, get this queued up, and then I'm gonna quickly go before the cutscene queues and try to get the bomb.
Don't forget the challenge kit in this room.
Yep. I'm gonna quickly try and throw the bomb in time here. Ah, I didn't get it. That's fine. I mean, you'd have to watch through that cutscene either way, except now it spawns me back in that room, which is annoying, but it's alright. Okay. If only you can hit B to detonate your bomb earlier, there just didn't want to work. I will eventually destroy this door. Alright. You know, I'm just gonna build this at this point. There we go. Alright. Easy. First try. Alright, here, massive room. There's actually 4 mini kits in here, and all mini kits, but challenges there's only 2, which is pretty nice, so you don't have to memorize all these different locations and whatnot. There's only 2. Oh, nice, I fell right through the fishing hole. That clip's kind of difficult because there's a couple of clips like that where you're clipping off screen, so you have to do a triple jump basically without seeing your characters, which it's the same inputs, but you know, it's not the same when you can't see your characters.
Yeah, because a lot of the mini kits, at least the way, or at least a lot of clips, the way I do it is based on where Yoda is, like how he looks when he does it, how his body position looks up against the ceiling is how I time a lot of my Yoda clips. So it's a lot harder when you can't see him.
Yeah. Here you can actually do a little trick where you get all the buttons in one run, but it's very risky because if you don't get it, then you have to go back up the casual way. So just doing it where you take the single death, which you do 90% as well, and then respawning up top and hitting the other 2 buttons is the safer way there. Here, there's just a long sequence of Yoda clips here.
Yeah, there's a lot right here.
Get into this room to grab one, got a clip back out.
I don't know if you know this, but you can actually just jump over the little detonator thing right there.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, Yoda is small enough that he can just, kind of like how you do in Princess, how you just jump in between the boxes. Yes, the same thing right there. You can just jump in between that in the ceiling.
Right. See, this category has found a lot of new things recently, and I'm learning more and more every day, and we're finding more stuff, more clips to get these kits more efficiently. A little clip here into this slot machine room.
And he got it first try, but that is actually a very difficult clip. So.
And I'm actually struggling on the easier part.
The route is more or less the same as free play. The only thing that's different is we started on 6.6 and 6.5. Just because the 6.6 is way more annoying in this category. 6.5 doesn't have the ultra kill, so it's not. At 6.5 in this category is actually really easy.
Alright, we are on to probably, this is my least favorite level. I don't know about you, Tfresh, but this is my least favorite level.
Hoth Battle, this is all, so mine's kind of a toss-up between this level and Falcon Flight. I don't like either one.
So this one we'll see how I do on this. So it's mostly because of this opening section, these clips here, is most of the reason why Hoth Battle is very bad. So there's a clip here.
Yeah.
It's not the most difficult clip right here, but oh, okay. UK, I just figured out you do not need a clip through that.
Yeah, okay, but just so you know, that is very inconsistent because I've tried to get that to work more often.
Alright, because you're supposed to clip into the rock there, and then that's how you get above, but
yeah, the pod racer is very weird, and it does stuff like that sometimes, but I can't figure out a way to get it consistently.
So what I'm going to do here, there's multiple ways, I think, to get out of here. I'm going to do a little flip here and connect to player 2, do a little drop out on 1. I might have to reconnect the controller, hopefully not. I think I have to, which is not a big deal. It's a couple of seconds lost, but it's all right. I've gotten used to reconnecting player one so many times that inputs are pretty fast. Drag this bomb with gunship. The gunship is way faster towing bombs than the snow speeder. So anytime towing bombs, we're going to be using the gunship.
There is a way to clip into this, but I think it's if it's faster, it's just barely faster, and it's a little bit annoying to try and do. You don't have to tow a bomb there, but it wouldn't save too much time just because you still have to get that challenge kit.
Yep, and here's another little brutal part of Hoth battle where I'm gonna have to do. So I gotta connect player 2. I'm gonna be doing a little roll and then spam switch on my player 1 here as fast as I can to get above this hill. I believe Tfresh, you did this in a different way.
There is a new way to do it, and it's much easier in my opinion, and it's easy to do with player 2, so you don't actually have to do the character management to switch your characters and drop them out and everything.
Pod race here. And it is essentially switch as fast as you can, get as high on the hill as you can, switch as fast as you can, which definitely I don't find this very easy. I thought I had that.
Yeah, the way I do it is I put Pod Racer up there and then just kind of turn him away from the barrier and just do a backflip, and he just, for whatever reason, just goes over the barrier. I'm
dying kind of at unfortunate times here. I might try and clear out some of these guys just because I'm dying when I'm playing the hill here. Alright, that should make this a little easier.
Yeah, and this is definitely one of the more annoying parts about Hoth battle.
Alright, I'm going to try left switching now, because I think that Naboo Starfighter is holding me up here. Looks like the Arc Fighter is too, so looks like I'm going to try the Tfresh method here. I know I've seen it before. I believe you have to use Pod Racer. Yeah,
and because Pod Racer is so fast, you just literally backflip over the wall like that. It's incredibly easy. I was very annoyed with the current method, so I was searching. Oh, yeah.
There we go. It took me a bit, but learned that one kind of on the fly.
I personally find that one to be much easier, and it should be just as fast. So, and it's easier to do with player 2, so you can just, because before you would take player 1 over there just because it's hard for, at least for me, to control player 2 in the keyboard and spam switch like that. So I did it with player 1, and then I'd have to drop out player 1, move player 2 away, drop player 1 back in, then drop player 2 out, which is a lot of dropouts and drop-ins. With that method.
Completely skip the barrier. It's nice and easy. You just need to take. It's required that you use the Imperial Shuttle, and you just do a 360 up against the wall.
Yeah, what Chimkin said is correct. You can also do that exact same thing as you do in
last 2 kits of this really brutal level.
Yeah, this is again kind of like the Falcon flight, where they're just in a weird spot, and the game likes to.
Yeah, I prefer just to take the slow ship but destroy the rocks, so at least I get a clear line at it instead of having to kind of avoid the rocks and grab it. Finally, out of episode 5.
Yes.
Gotten the hardest 2 episodes out of the way. Be heading right over to Rebel Attack, which is actually a pretty difficult ship level in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say basically all of them are pretty difficult. Gunship is pretty difficult.
Yeah, other than the auto scrollers,
they're probably the hardest in the category.
Unfortunately, here you do not have infinite torpedoes, so you're gonna have to grab some. But luckily, in the next 2 sections, I'll be able to just flip through the walls and through the sections. Don't even need to shoot a single torpedo after this opening area.
Yeah.
So you kind of, what I'm gonna do here is kind of, as I go collecting the kits. There's 4 in this first area. I'm gonna kind of shoot these targets as I go, kind of collect more torpedoes while I'm grabbing the kits here. Essentially, the way that you exit this area is you destroy all 4 of these torpedo targets. But I don't want to only focus them and have to do all the kits. So kind of do both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
There you go. Takes a little bit on that wall.
So far, he has done all episode 6 and all of episode 5. He's currently on episode 4.
Yes, I'm going to make my way over to 1. All the episodes go the 6 chapters of the first chapter except for episode 1, where we're going to end on Darth Maul. Alright, and here's the clip that's just basically skips the torpedo targets back there and the ones over there. Just switch into the wall here. Actually,
yes, just another arc fighter.
A little barrel roll, and then a switch. Here it's a little more tricky since you don't have as much space, but if you barrel roll to the right here, you should get stuck in that corner once I respawn. There we go. The last two, like, if I was playing this casually as a kid, I did not know this area back there, so props to casuals who actually find that.
Akoma, because the reason why is because you don't have to do the movement from episode 6 to the beginning door at all, because you just end on episode 1. So just think about it like that. Like you only go to episode 1, so it literally saves like a second or two of just droidic movement. But why go all the way to the end to Maul when you don't actually have to do that movement at all? Because you don't ever have to leave episode 1.
Yeah. And one thing is, like, typically they put the harder levels towards the end of the episode, so there's that kind of small benefit there, too.
And then here is Death Star Escape. This is actually personally my favorite level in free play. Or in challenges.
This has got a couple cool clips. There's a new one that's been discovered in this room. I'm not going to go for it because I know it's really bad.
It's very hard.
I'm going to go for a different version of this where you clip from this room.
As far as I know, only me and Creepy Gar actually go for that.
Yeah, this one's used in free play. Kind of, and then there we go. You have to kind of wiggle yourself around there in the door, trying to hit the transition there.
Yeah, and this level is definitely a little bit more annoying with aggros. They like to aggro on you a lot here.
Yeah, here's some clips that are kind of off screen that you have to do.
And this is definitely one of the more difficult sections because you have to do like, yeah, you got them. You have to do both those off screen.
In free play, you're actually able to use like Mouse Droid in this level and rescue the princess for faster speed, but unfortunately no extras in this category, so we aren't able to use Mouse Droid. We go, and then the positioning of this next clip and the next challenge kit, and the fact that there's none behind it. So this one in the next room, and there's none to the left in that hallway is just really convenient. We can just clip through this and then keep going in the level. There's none back there.
Yeah.
Very convenient placement there. Yeah, so Death Star Escape, this is one of my favorites as well. Just because you can essentially clip through everything. Skip all the major stuff in this level. And the final one being over on the right side in this end room. And that makes a level that typically takes a very long time, very short. Unfortunately, I forgot to manage my characters, so I'm going to have to go do that in a second. Another way of actually, I didn't do it there, if you forget to manage your player 2, you can actually switch to, say, Yoda if you need him for the next level as your player 1, and then in the lobby swap to your player 2. So you can change player 1, and player 2 will already be Yoda for you. Make sure I gotta connect 2 here. Princess is also a really fun one, clipping through ceilings and whatnot, basically the whole level. I would say, I don't think there's a single room where you don't clip. Oh, there is one area, I think, but almost every single room here you clip.
And I think the only reason why you can't clip there is just because the transition isn't there.
Yeah. So you can kind of go from that other room into this elevator. This clip out of the elevator, though, I personally really struggle with this one. This is one of the more interesting clips because it's on the same ceiling as everything else, but it's one of the harder clips for me personally. is everything else in that room. So it's like that clip I did with Princess Leia, very easy. But then in that same room, that clip in the elevator, for some reason, very difficult. Timings may be different or whatnot, because every clip varies.
Yeah, and coming up, you'll see him do what I was talking about earlier, how Droidica's hitbox is just so huge. He's able to just run into one of those boxes and just pick up a kit.
Yes, so right here behind this one, you're just able to touch the outside of it and grab it.
Yeah, like right there.
Got to make sure that actually has a explosive radius there, so you have to kind of avoid that and just jump this gap easy enough. And then we'll make our way to this very out of the way area. When I started learning challenges and where the kits were, I was very surprised to see that this was even a room. Did not know that existed. And the last one's very big section where you kind of have to go on the right side, then come back to the left. Very it's very unoptimal for speedrunners, since you have to go all the way up and then back down to almost where you started again to get all the kits. A little clip here in this room, we can just get by this panel. And then there is in the final room, there's 2 ways of doing this one. Well, actually 3. There's the casual way and then 2 different clips you can do. I'm going to take the easier clip. I'm going to do the easier clip up against the wall. But I think Tfresh can explain the one in the center of the room.
Yeah, so as I said, there's 2 different clips. So this one is just simply you're using the bucket, the hitbox is a bucket to push you out of bounds. You'll see that used one other time in negotiations, and the other one is you stand on the terminal right there, and you just you just do another Yoda clip. That one's a lot more difficult, and it's only a little bit faster to do the other one.
Yeah, they gave Anakin Skywalker boy some screen time there. Ended up being the guy who clipped out of bounds. Alright, on to Spaceport. This one is pretty much straightforward. Although Spaceport's a pretty big level and there's a lot of areas just out there. You wouldn't really even, like, most of them are not accessible in any percent. So it's kind of weird going there in challenges. They're just kind of way out of the way. A couple of these areas, especially towards the end of the level.
But Toffee, rescuing the princess is slow.
So get out of this area pretty quickly with that speeder movement. Unfortunately, nothing by the car wash, which, you know, if I were making this game, I would put something over there.
There's nothing in there in all mini kits either.
Yeah, it's just the double scores.
Yeah, it's just nothing. It's weird.
There's actually a wall climb you can do here. If I have Grievous, I'll show it off, actually. Do I have Grievous? I do. I'll show it off. There's a wall climb here where you could skip killing these enemies. Let's see if I can do it. Got one climb. It's kind of a weird one. Then hit the transition. There's one here in the cantina. Pretty simple. Luckily, in all mini kits, there's one behind the blue barrier. But this whole entire cantina, the ceiling doesn't have hit collisions, so you can just triple jump through the ceiling as need be. So here's where it kind of gets weird, like out of the way. So you got to go grab that one, and then clip over this door to grab one in this section, which conveniently has a door back to the area where you need to go to continue the level at. And then I gotta go into the feeder here and grab one of them, and then the last 2 are pretty much, you can see the second to last one over there. And then the last one's in the end room. And I also, when I enter the end room, I gotta make sure I manage my characters for John on Waste. I'm gonna have to get Yoda on my player too.
And in the end room, there is a really weird and not the easiest 1P2C to do. I'm I'm pretty sure it's faster, but it is, again, very, very hard. Just because you have to triple jump with player 2, and you have to get to the mini kit that's off screen.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're playing something like controller keyboard, or even keyboard, knowing your
Like
keybinds for player 2 is one thing, but then knowing how to triple jump with them is another.
the triple jump inputs are, as far as I know, Justin's like the only one who can really do it well.
Yeah,
Uh,
keyboard is
it's
quite a
the inputs are weird because you'd have to slam and then switch right after jumping, which is just very awkward to do on a keyboard.
yeah. All right, into Gentleman Wastes.
Yes, as Chimkin said, it is very bad. And Chimkin actually
Bad.
prefers keyboard, so you know that it's
And I
not
think
good.
if I can remember, he goes into controller when he does
He
free plays.
does.
Yeah, and then keyboard for any percent. There we go. Just got a little bit of jump there. There's a weird little uh, block there you can hit and then get another jump off.
Yeah.
This one kind of at an inconvenient spot. You can, unfortunately can't switch to Droideka there. It's too small speed there.
Yeah, you just kind of get like this error noise if you try to do that. It happens in a couple spots. It's a little annoying, but
Grab that one. I'm gonna do the little jump slash method up this hill here.
yeah, jump tossing with Yoda is the fastest form of movement, but it depends on the scenario. So like when you're jumping off of like a high platform, it is fastest to just do a jump slash off.
The Sandcrawler is one of my favorite areas because it is so broken. You literally can just clip into that room and then clip through like the television and then end up in the next room.
Yeah, there's also a clip you can do in this room, but it's difficult.
Let's see. Can I clip out of here, or I'm gonna have to take the way of forcing it. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to force it.
You
Didn't
can
look like...
also Yoda grab that one.
Oh yeah, you can do a jump Yoda grab. Oops, gotta be careful of the Jawas here. Hopefully, yeah. There's a you can accidentally jump over that transition pretty easily.
Yes, I've done it many times.
You have to be careful on that, and then you have to reload the room and then go back through the transition again.
Actually, I don't think that one. I don't think that one reloads the room. I could be wrong, but I don't think that one does.
All right, the last two here. So there, I'm sure it came up during the any percent race. But there's the left side and there's the right side of the second sand pit on this level, and I cannot do the left side for my life. I remember the one time I tried this in challenges and tried to do the side, I got like an infinite respawn point where so I'm just gonna do the right side sand skip, and unfortunately there's a challenge kit on the left side that I'm gonna have to go over and grab. So I'm first gonna go on the right side, skip on the right, and then go back.
Yeah, this one is very annoying just because it's hard to tell where you're supposed to go.
Unfortunately, I went in the sand.
I do kind of a weird setup, but yeah, it's definitely not an easy one. And this doesn't even lose too much time to do what he's doing.
Intimidate that Jawa a little bit, please. Oh wait, yep. Not worth building. You can just slide this gap. And player 2 is already set to Yoda, and that's what we need for secret plans. It's actually, so this is one of the few levels that you actually, pretty RNG based for the character wheel. You want Grievous for a wall climb, and if I can get Grievous, it's a wall climb that saves about like 15 seconds, I would say. In secret plans,
this is definitely one of the bigger time saves.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's basically a 50-50 where they get Jar Jar. Let's see, I got Jar.
And sometimes it feels like it's a little bit worse than 50-50.
Yeah. And at that point, once you get Jar, it really isn't worth. Come on, there we go. Click through that one. Isn't really worth re-entering the level and trying for Grievous again.
And that right there was just another one of those Droideka clips.
Here, unfortunately, you can get over the You can't get over the wall here with the Yoda clip, but the transition isn't loaded from the front side. You can only hit the back of it, which just reloads this room. Just one here, kind of underground. Grab that, and then we can just do a triple jump, Yoda, and get all the way up. And when you want to go for height, you want to always switch from Yoda to rather than Yoda to the other Jedi, whoever's to your left, or sorry, to your right on your character wheel. And then distance, like Tfresh said earlier, is character who's on the right, whoever that may be. Oh wait, no, but this is not all mini kits. You actually can click through that door. That's all mini kits where you actually have to get the cart. Secret plans, you get a lot of these kits early, and then there's a couple of pretty simple ones at the end. This is where the wall climb would have been. I can skip pushing these boxes completely, which that would take probably a good 10 seconds, plus the time it takes since there's a little time where the boxes go in, and then the little downtime before the door opens, it saves about that much time, so I'd say about 15 seconds if you can get it first try. Feeling a very easy clip right now. Alright. Yeah, that's just the thing. Clips that normally work for you sometimes stop working in the middle of runs, and just, like the casual strategy usually isn't long. Unless it's a clip where you really have to do it. Unfortunately, clipped the railing there and lost my jump. Just fly across. Anything else with Tfresh, or have I basically covered it?
You basically covered it.
I'm gonna manage my player 2 here, get him to Yoda. There we go. Okay. It's kind of tricky clip. You got to get quite a bit of height there, so I always do the clip with Droidica.
Yeah, it's just also because the timing is different between Droidica and the Jedi. So with if you're switching to a Jedi, for that clip, you want to switch as quick as possible, which makes it a lot harder to get enough height to get over that door. So it's a lot easier to do that with Droidica.
Yep, and with that, we're on to the prequels, which are a lot faster than
There's a lot less clips in the prequels, just a lot more about movement.
And usually the prequels kits are not in terrible spots. There's a couple of them in kind of strange spots here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Yoda did not warp to the end there. You can actually, it looks like he's gonna die. You can, if you hold on that back wall long enough, your player 2 actually warp. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But then that avoids you having to switch at all and manage your player 2. So here, there's a clip into this room, but it's pretty easy. But the clip out of this room is really bad.
Yeah.
So I just completely avoid doing it. It's such a small time save anyway. As the clip. Let me give myself some more time here, because I have to grab these kits and then clip out of this room as well. 4 is what you need at the end of this one. Then there's a very quick clip time here. We have to go not to Droidica but to your Jedi. Actually, I'm gonna go up and over. Actually, sorry, you cannot. That's a free place.
You have to get that kit.
There's a kit here behind the platform. And then the last section you can do with like Jedi jumping. I think it's slightly faster than flying around with Boba, but I prefer to play it safe and fly around with Boba.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was trying to manage my character too. But
he will always switch to R2 because he gets scared.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly manage it here. Let's see Yoda. Actually, you know what? That was not a good idea because we are actually have Grievous for the next level, so I didn't need to do that. Unfortunately, you gotta like be heads up towards the end of the level and know what you need next. That's one of the big things about challenges. Know what you need next. And free play, so you don't have to do any unnecessary management, or if you haven't done management, you gotta do management.
Yeah, which is why some people like to put it on their splits. Who's coming up next?
Yeah. That's why you might see people running free player challenges like a DY or a DG, Droideka Yoda, or Droideka Grievous. Alright, coming up here, I'm going to actually have to connect player 2 because they're.
Yeah, and the wall climb saves quite a bit of time in this level. Saves probably a minute. Because you get to skip
actually,
the entirety of the any percent section, basically.
There is actually a alternative. I think maybe Justin does this, but I know in mini kits Chimkin does this as a backup. You can do that really high triple jump to get out of bounds on the side areas, and then that way you can hit the transition and whatnot. But I think I mean it's a lot slower, but it's an alternative thing to just doing the casual way. It's you just triple jump high enough to get over the ceiling instead of a wall climb. But the wall climb, once you get to know how to do wall climbs, which will take you time before you actually get wall climbs down, it's very free. Especially the one in this level, probably the easiest one in the game, or at least the easiest one.
You forgot one.
Did I? Oh yes,
in the clone room.
Yep, clone room. See, Rune of the Jedi is one of those bigger levels that's pretty easy to forget something.
Yeah, Justin does the wall climb. Yeah. Well, he doesn't. He does the wall climb now, but his PB doesn't.
Am I stuck here? There we go. Oh geez, I did not know you can get stuck back here. I'll just open the one panel, but it's about the same time to open the panel and clip over. But you know, the clip over is for style. Then I actually ended up getting stuck. You can hit the transition from the backside there and then actually load the room.
Yeah, Justin does the wall climb, but his PB is not.
I know Chimkin does an alternative clip there in his mini kits where he just gets height and then that's how.
Right.
Which actually, I think many people.
Yeah, that's how. I think that's how we all used to do it.
Alright, coming into this last room where we got a couple of these. The library, which still haven't found any percent skip for this, but this would probably be one of the biggest time savers. Percent of trying to skip for this room.
Yes, because we know that it's loaded, and there is a way to do it to get past the transition, but the transition skip doesn't work at any percent just because the respawns are bad.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because if you like a simple way in like free play, it's not as fast as the wall climb, but an easier way to get out of bounds and get through this room is just by triple jumping position. And honestly, triple jumping isn't even that much higher, depending what character you use, isn't that much higher than normal jumping. It's like we're just a little too low on that. So you have to wall climb first up, and then wall climb up and over this wall. Hit the transition there, and then grab the last hit in the level, which I'm going to just manage here. We got Kashyyyk yet next, so I'm just going to take Grievous now, and then get my player, switch in the Cantina to player 2, and get into Droideka. Alright, Kashyyyk. This is one of the more difficult ones in the prequels. There's a potential wall climb. I don't know if I'm going to go because it doesn't save that much time.
It saves like 5 seconds in challenges. I beat Zola's Gold consistently without it. It does not save.
I'll give one attempt here, like while I'm waiting for the Wookiees to come, but I don't think.
And the thing about the Kashyyyk wall climb is it's pretty difficult, and you basically have to get it first try to save time with it.
Although in free play, it is a much bigger time save.
In free play, it's kind of necessary that you do it.
Yeah.
Saves like 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's a really big chunk of time. Just want to make sure everyone's dead here because this Wookiee up here, when you free him, he will not go all the way to the button unless everyone's dead around him, all the enemy clones.
Yes.
Somehow player 2 makes it over there every time. So I'm just going to make sure I kill these guys. I'm going to do a little triple jump off the helmet dispenser. Free this guy. Because he's kind of along the way. Because there's no other way to getting this challenge kit besides doing that. I'm just gonna, as I come around here, I'm just gonna make sure I'm scaring him. That's my teammate, so I don't need to worry about that. I'm gonna first free this guy so he can make his way over as I grab the kit to the left here. This is like the very, like, that time it took me to go on the right there is how much time the wall saves here.
Right, that's it.
Not a lot.
It's not a whole lot.
I'll attempt it once here. I didn't get far enough. Alright, that's fine. Step on the buttons at this point. My player. Where is my player 2? Oh, there he is.
Huh. That was weird.
Yeah, that was very strange. I don't know where he... And then he just respawned.
Yeah.
Alright, here, pretty straightforward. The rest of this level, that beginning section is that one little section that's pretty difficult with the wall climb if you do it. And it's a little bit variant depending on your clone trooper spawns, but from here on out, it's pretty much straight to the end. There's a little triple jump you can do right over the gate here. Nice little time saver. Rather than actually shooting the targets. Let's see if I can make that. No, just short. That's fine. And also, I've been doing it this whole run, but I haven't mentioned it, but I've been, when I'm at a high area, doing a jump slash down with any character, any Jedi, Yoda preferably because he's the fastest, gets you down the fastest rather than free falling with one of your characters. Just like kind of going up hills, going down big drops is faster with a jump slash. And then a switch right at the end to cancel the ending part of the animation. And the last one in here is behind this ATR. Or ATET, I'm not exactly sure.
It's ATRT. Zolas corrected us yesterday, and I looked it up, but it is the ATRT.
Ah. Alright. I believe I managed my character too. Or my player too. We're gonna go into Grievous here. This one's pretty straightforward for challenges. It's just
you want Yoda.
Oh yes, there's a Yoda grab. I did forget about that. It's alright. It's not worth exiting the level now, but it skips having to destroy all the bombs at the end. I did forget that, but it's not too big of a deal. There's actually a clip on still destroyed it. There's actually a clip you can do up and over that, and you can clip back. I'm gonna kind of avoid doing that for now. It's pretty difficult, and I haven't really tried it in a run yet. There we go. Barely made that one. Alright. Here's the ending to unfortunately. So normally you'd be able to Yoda grab this one. But
And this Yoda grab is actually kind of weird. I think the kit's just in a weird spot. But
weird little cutscene that played there. I'm not sure what that was all about. Oh wait, oh sorry, this is not the bombs. The bombs brings the mini kit out. It's the levers that bring the challenge kit. I haven't played this level casually in so long.
Yeah.
That it's just like not normal for me to do it that way. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of management here before Chancellor. I'm gonna need Yoda for this one. This one's my favorite in challenges and my favorite in free play. It's a very fun level. A couple really cool clips as well.
Oh, there is one thing I'm not sure if you know about, but when you enter the Chancellor fight, switch to Grievous before you do, and you won't get any aggro's in that room.
Ah, yes, because you stay as a dark side or Sith or.
I know Zolas was saying in his PB, I remember him saying he wasn't sure why the guys were aggro. Because he said before they weren't, and it was just because he was forgetting to switch to Grievous.
Alright, there's a little clip that you can skip this cutscene in this little hallway for. I don't know why I shot. They weren't even going to be aggro, but
that clip is a little difficult too. So.
Yeah, that one doesn't really save too much, and it's very difficult. There's a couple ways of going about killing this guy. Dealing with the Strodica, you can zap him too. Or you can just kill him like that with a slam and
Yeah,
then
generally I just slam and then kill him.
Yeah, just to get. I prefer just to kill these guys rather than deactivate and have them potentially shoot me while I'm forcing this. So for the one in the next room behind the 3PO panel, there is a Yoda grab you can do. I'll try it a couple of times, but I find usually I don't find success with it.
This one you actually just do an instant grab. You don't actually have to triple jump.
Oh, okay. Because this one I'm a little unfamiliar with. I've seen jumps for this one.
Yeah. You can literally just stand and grab it.
That's one of my favorite clips to run. Unfortunately, I didn't get super high there, but like you can get really high up by doing that clip. Alright, and then I'll make sure to enter this fight as Grievous. Oops. I'm gonna open the panel, deactivate the droid, and then get around him, make sure I enters Grievous. I did switch the Yoda through, so they are going to be aggro, which is not, honestly, too big of a deal. It might be an extra death, but that's alright. There's a clip you can actually do. I'm not too familiar with it. I've seen clips of it, but there's a clip you can do to exit this room faster from this area. I believe you clip right here, but I'm not going to try and attempt that 1,000 times, because this new stuff for this category is being discovered literally every. It's hard to keep up with it all. So right here, just a little bit of management. You can't have here, or else the wall will catch up to him and you'll die. Or you cannot switch to Yoda in this elevator.
Which is,
if you switch to him, you just die for no reason.
It doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever, but
Yoda just dies in there.
And then you have to restart the beginning of the room. Alright, final little home stretch of the level. We have course, so it's not going to be too difficult. I want to make sure kind of Yoda's my player too here for Duke. Here we go, last one, and then we're on to auto scroll.
Yes. And this is a good time for donations if there are any, Toffee. I'm guessing there are none, though.
Yeah, Toffee's deafened, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, she said there's none. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, because we have a good, 5-minute auto-scroller here.
Yeah. One of the... Okay, it's an auto-scroller, but it can be scary, because if you end... So, first off, you get a kit just off the beginning for no reason. But if you miss one of these, and it's like you're too far away from it after missing it and doesn't give you a good respawn, you actually have to restart the whole level. So it's an auto-scroller, but it's a little scary.
Yes, I have... Not even kidding, I think I have had... probably around 6 runs that have missed a kit in this level and I had to reset. Very annoying.
Just want to get a couple of hearts here. There's no ship that's faster necessarily here. It's kind of cruising along. I mean, I can try some camera manipulation by pushing on one side as it goes left, but it's not really going to save me that much. I just got to focus on. I usually like using the pod racer here, just because it doesn't take up the full screen. I can see where everything's at.
And also it's a smaller hitbox, so it makes it easier to not die.
Although one thing that's pretty smart to do is when you're getting to the kits, switch to a bigger ship just in case you do miss them. It's more for safety.
Studs over Coruscant. Best category.
Yeah. One of the category extensions. Just get as many studs as you can. Unfortunately, it doesn't count studs in challenge. Still a good meme for normal story. Just make sure. Going a little risky here, grabbing them with Pod Racer. But yeah, that's essentially it for this level. There's nothing really too much to it besides going along getting the kits. And there's no faster speed you can necessarily go at. There's a little bit of manipulation with the camera. You can do hold left as the screen's going left or hold right as it's going right, but that truly doesn't do that much.
Yeah, and it's just kind of similar to what they do in Lego Star Wars 1.
Yeah, but actually in Lego Star Wars 1 it actually saves a good
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure on the time of that, but I just know it does actually save a good bit of time. So far, good on the challenge kits here. Got all the ones, didn't miss any yet. And there's after this one, the fire tunnel. There's 2 more left.
Yeah.
And then finally, we'll get out of this level. Very boring. And we'll be off to basically, all the levels are pretty interesting up until pottery. So
Yeah.
we got a good chunk of levels coming up. Episode 2 is a pretty fun challenge episode, to be honest. If not, maybe my favorite one.
Definitely has one of the harder levels in the run with Camino.
Yeah, yes, there is Camino, which is probably, in my opinion, the hardest prequel level. Or I think Maul can give it a good run for its money. Maul and Camino. Maul ended up actually ending the run. That's going to be a fun one to end on. There's a bunch of clips on Maul and a bunch of different strategies. There's actually a wall climb. It's not necessarily faster unless you do it a certain way, but I think I'm just going to show it off anyways.
Okay, so it is faster in this category. It's okay, so in regular free play, it is only a second faster because you have fast force. But this category, you don't have fast force, so it's a bit faster for this one.
All right, finally out of the auto scroller, and we're on to episode 2, which in my opinion is probably my favorite episode for challenges. Started off with Dooku, and then Gunship, which is not necessarily an easy level. It's gonna make sure I switch here to Vader because for a cutscene later in free play / challenges, it depends on whoever your character is. The cutscene varies depending on how fast your character is. So if you got someone like Yoda, it'll take a really long time for him to walk to where he needs to be to trigger the next part of the level. So make sure that's Vader, so he actually walks pretty fast. All right. Triple jump grab this, then we're on to the end area. Make sure we're Vader, since, yeah, it would just show the animation of Yoda walking all the way.
Yeah, if Yoda doesn't have his lightsaber out, it's really bad.
That
he'll just hobble.
A good 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, at home, probably more.
Yeah, like, you have to just sit there and watch Yoda.
That'd be a good meme, but not gonna do that.
Yeah, it loses so much time, and it's very annoying to watch him just hobble through the rest of the thing.
Alrighty, off to Gunship, which is probably the last difficult. Well, Pursuit's decently hard.
Pursuit's not as hard as the rest of ship levels, though.
Yeah, probably the last really difficult ship level left.
But Gunship is annoying.
Alright, Gunship's got a couple of them, and just where it's like right on the edge where you're trying to stay up and grab the kit, and then you end up like missing the kit and falling off.
So another thing about Gunship is spam switching over like spaces where you're not supposed to be. For whatever reason, you don't fall. So you can use that to grab some of the kits. Like right there, he just kind of switched, and it kind of keeps him
above.
Yeah, up above the death plane.
So here, this is one of the spots where I just need to spam switch, and then very easy. Yeah, I'm just essentially just hitting right trigger, left trigger as fast as I can. Oh wait, I do actually have to grab the bomb here. It's a free play category, but you actually have to grab this. I believe there is a clip.
There is a clip, but well, it's not a clip. It's more of the player 2 drop-in, like how you do the second barrier skip in any percent.
Yeah, I get that.
Because Chimkin does this in all mini kits.
Grab that, and then the last one, this section, another one that's just on the edge. Up, like I said earlier, you need the kit and fall off the edge when you're just trying to get the kit and stay on. Fortunate. All right. And then I'm going to do one more little switch here, or spam switch, to get around the second barrier into the end section. Wow, that loaded very fast. It loaded from far away. Usually,
yeah, it does not usually do that. Usually it likes to be difficult.
That section are kind of annoying because you die pretty quickly to these lasers. So we're good. Only one death. There we go. All right. Gunship, luckily, despite it being bad, it is pretty fast. So we're all off to just the sequence of ground levels here in episode 2, which I find are starting with Jedi Battle, which this is one that's really fast.
It's very fast paced.
For a couple of the category extensions categories, like max studs, this is one that you're grinding studs on for a long time. These challenges give you 400k, and I played this one a good 9 times, I think, in max studs. Almost forgot that one. Because it's all about movement. There's a couple of triple jumps, and there's nothing really much else besides the couple of triple jumps. It's all just movement.
This is definitely a fun one to try and go for like a perfect time.
Yeah. Two more here. And then we're off the Droid Factory, which I like Droid Factory as well. Camino, though, that's going to be one of the more difficult ones that we're going to come up to. Alright. Droid Factory time. Droid Factory's got a couple of clips, and it's more about movement. It's a more fluid level, just like Jedi Battle, which those are like the really fluid ones I like personally. Not too many crazy clips and whatnot. One kind of hidden there at the beginning. Alright. It's pretty easy to mess up locations of kits and all mini kits and all challenges. I was about to go back there and grab.
Yeah, I saw and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I was about to grab what would have been a mini kit there. Luckily, I caught myself.
Yeah, it's very annoying in categories like all canisters and hundo because you have to grab them all, and it's easy. It's just so easy to mix them up because for whatever reason the developers thought there's 360 kits in the game, so let's just throw in 360 more.
Yeah.
They thought that was a smart idea.
Going to the side room, there's a little trick in the side room where if you let me move throughout this one with Yoda with R2, where you switch to R2 here, and then if you don't hit the ground here, the platforms that I jumped over counted as solid ground, so I'll respawn all the way back to the beginning, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. This game it's a little bit weird what it treats as respawn points, but
Looking good. There's a little clip here. I don't do it. I personally don't like it. That clip there, I struggle. It's one of those clips that isn't even that hard, but I personally struggle with it. And it's not that much slower to do the casual way.
yeah, that one is another one of abusing Droidica's hitboxes and Yoda's hitbox. What you do is you switch to a small character like 3PO, you run into the wall, and then you switch to Droidica, and if you run into the wall enough, then you switch back to Yoda. Yoda will just kind of like upwarp into the transition, basically.
Yeah, and see, like, what I did there, just a quick little management on character. To get Yoda as my player 2 for the next level. When you're in the end room and you know you're in the end level there, it's a good thing just to manage your characters right at the beginning when you load into the room, because you're all standing right next to each other rather than later on in the room. Alright, on to the gauntlet, which is known as Camino. Lots of clips here.
Ooh, and it's very, very easy to lose a good minute in this level.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Alright, so it starts off not with a clip, but a really precise timed jump and a fly with Boba Fett. You have to basically fly last possible second as you're falling off the edge here, which that can happen a lot where I timed it too late. I think that might be too early. Maybe I'll get it too early. Pretty difficult one.
One thing you can do is as soon as Django starts falling, as long as you are, it's still tight. But if you switch to Droidica, Droidica can actually just kind of push himself the rest of the way up.
Yeah, I would assume because of his hitbox.
So for that one, you don't have to do that. You can actually just run into it with Droidica.
It's one of those clips.
Yeah, it's really weird. It only works some of the time, but if it doesn't work, you just switch the Yoda.
This is one of those gaps that you can't actually fly across as a Boba Fett. It's just like there's a death plane that won't allow it. Make sure I triple jump. There we go. And a quick little Yoda grab here. All challenges kind of messed up. Since Droideka's hitbox is so big, when I switched to Yoda, he was already. The game thought he was on the slope. Here's another little thing where they don't count that as solid ground when I was up there. So if I take a death a little faster than rolling all the way back as Droideka. So this beginning part, Kamino's pretty difficult with these cliffs. There we go. They got that one pretty quick. And then we got our next room, which luckily there's a challenge kit off to the side on the room where there's a nice easy clip to get out of bounds, because there's a pretty brutal clip in this main hallway that you do in free play.
Yeah, the thing with the clip is it's just such a weird timing. You basically the way I do it is jump as quick as possible with Yoda, but and then you also have to do your slam, and you want to wait a good a decent amount of time to switch to Droideka. It's just a really weird timed clip.
Yeah, I ended up not doing the clip into this room. I just ended up opening the door. Not that much slower to open the door, and then I grab there.
I also just open the door just because it's so much safer and only loses like 3 seconds.
And then ended a lot easier clip out of bounds there than the one in the main room that Tfresh was explaining. In that side room that conveniently is the main room is actually loaded in. So you can just kind of walk underground the outdoor area. Right here, I've learned my lesson before. Do not want to shoot Django here, because you can actually soft lock yourself and kill it down. I've learned my lesson on that one. Because like I would try and shoot him just a little bit, just to get him push him a little bit further, but definitely not worth it with that big potential of just losing your run. I'm gonna try a clip here to get into the elevator.
And this is also another very kind of a more difficult clip, just because you have to avoid the transition as well.
Yeah.
To reload
Getting
the
the clip in the first place, hard enough. There we go. You kind of have to fall
and
down.
He got it, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to fall down and then go for it. You have to. You'll see your player icon fall a little bit, and then you'll go forward. And off to this little last clip, which I'm trying to get here. A little too close to the wall here. There it is. And the last kick. Kamino, one of the longer ones, and definitely pretty hard. And then off to the last quote-unquote ship level. Pod Race technically a ship level, but that's an auto-scroller. Pursuit isn't too bad. The main thing is accidentally missing kits, because it's hard. One, kits are kind of hard to see with the background, and it's pretty easy to miss them. There we go, got that one right away. These tie doors can be pretty annoying. They only open they open once and then immediately close, and then you have to reopen them again. So if you don't have a really good line, then they'll close again on you.
And they take a second to open, so you kind of have to like move slow. Otherwise, you'll bounce off the door, and then the door will close, and then you have to have it open again. You can get in those cycles where you just kind of continually can't get in the door.
Here's a little clip to skip this first electrical area. Pretty convenient. Don't have to get any of the torpedoes there. Here's the second little door. Been really smooth on these tie doors. They can be pretty difficult. Luckily here, went really smooth.
Yeah, because if he had taken a death there, then he would have gotten stuck in that room for a second, just because the door would have shut on him again.
So I think I mentioned it earlier, but switch to a bigger ship, which makes it a lot easier. But then also, you like right there in that tunnel, you can accidentally clip into the wall because you're switching from a ship to a bigger ship, and actually teleports you under the map and you soft lock. So that one you want to make sure you don't switch there because you can clip out of bounds at that turret in the hallway there, which I've done to myself, unfortunately. All right, and then on to the final episode where we actually start on because we don't have to move out of this episode at the very end of the. One's a pretty straightforward level. It's more about movement and whatnot. There is one little out of bounds clip that we're gonna do. It's just using Droidica's hitbox, and it's pretty simple. It's like any casual player could get this. Don't need to learn triple jumping or anything whatnot. It's you literally run into the box up ahead and just switch from whoever you are. You don't even need to. You can be whoever and then switch to Droidica and you'll flip out. I'm not gonna do it yet because I gotta enter the side room, grab 2 kits in here, and then I'll go.
Yes, Toffee is correct.
So were you saying that to me or?
Well, no, she just put something in the chat. That technically the pod racer doesn't have a cockpit, which means that when you're in like the LEGO Star Wars 2 ship levels or even like Coruscant, Anakin's just sitting in the vacuum of space.
Yeah. Alright, there's a little clip you can do there, but it's pretty difficult. It's very fast timing to get out of there, so I ended up just forcing that.
And that's what he was talking about, the easier, or the clip that's pretty easy that casuals could do. You just literally switch at the wall. Yeah, Anakin Skywalker play does not require oxygen. Jimkin, you are very right.
Normally I would manage characters there, but your player 2 kind of spazzes out. This is one of the levels where at the end your player 2 kind of spazzes out and switches between a bunch of characters, so it's not worth managing.
He will always end in the high jumper here.
Okay, that's good.
So for this level, you actually do want to connect him at the very end and switch into Yoda.
Alright, I'll try that. I haven't done that before.
That is worth it in this level just because the way Invasion works like Dagobah. You can't switch players or...
Oh, I missed him. One more. There we go. Alright, I have not done that before. That's good to know, Tfresh.
Yeah. There's only a couple levels. I also do it on Dagobah instead of having someone like 3PO as my player 2.
Alright, on to Invasion. There's a Yoda grab here, and there's nothing really much. You can jump through a little ceiling. But that's about it. There's nothing really too much on. There's triple jumps over these, the tank and the tree here. But honestly, Invasion's a pretty straightforward level. Grab the one there, triple jump over the tank.
Yeah, the next level is another kind of actually surprisingly difficult level.
Yeah, Escape from Naboo, like, it's fairly simple in any percent in free play, but for mini kits and challenges, quite different. Yeah, just kind of jump over these and grab this one, the one up top. And if you didn't see, there's if I didn't mention the little Yoda grab I did at the beginning of the in front of the Jar Jar face. Grabbed one of the canisters behind that one. Little jump around this bridge so you don't have to force and pull that one out. Nice little time save, and then there unfortunately is one in this. And there's actually I believe a clip that you can, or sorry, triple jump that you can go over.
Yes, there is, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's faster because we do it now in any percent or in all mini kits in story mode.
Alright, here's the little part where you kind of just I went up a little bit there, trying to get this.
Yeah, you can. Yoda's hitbox is weird, so you can just jump through that. It's very weird.
Yeah, you have to be in that right position, and I kind of popped up a bit a couple of times.
Yep,
Now
there's your Yoda's death sound, guys.
Alright, and we're on to escape. Which, it's this level, which is actually more difficult than you might think. Then we got the auto scroll pod race, and then a pretty simple level in feed, and then a pretty difficult mall.
Yeah.
Mall is one of the more difficult ones in the prequels. Alright, so here, there's like, actually for this opening section, there's a lot of clips and whatnot here. So there's a clip up here, if I can get this. Kind of annoying, there it is. And there's also a clip here. That's you, there it is, and then pop up. There's a bigger skip you can do in free play up by the door on the bottom right. We can actually,
you can just skip all of it.
Yeah, skip, you can teleport up to where I was standing right there. Oh, that's mini kits. I was about to go back there and grab something.
And this is, the world record is 142.24.
I don't have the stream up, so I have no idea about my time, but I know for a fact that at the beginning of 6-6, I had to quickly exit out and whatnot, so I'm sure this is not any special time. Actually, just a quick timer check. What am I at, Tfresh, right now?
140.08.
140.08. Alright. Yeah, so I don't even think this is going to PB, but I'm not surprised. Had a little management I had to do at the beginning of the run, whatnot.
This is like probably.
Oh, come on.
It's probably like 150 pace.
Let's warp my other player over here. Which is 150 is still pretty.
Yeah.
But honestly, with all the new stuff in it, this category has a lot of potential.
Yeah, this category can go sub 140. I don't want to push this category anymore. Someone else can do that. I'm happy with my 142.
Yeah, since it's a pretty brutal category. With all the with the recent changes to the route, or a little bit better since trilogy first, but still a pretty brutal category. A lot can go wrong. I don't know, like every single clip basically has a different timing, and getting used to that and whatnot. It's pretty difficult. And for someone just picking it up, it's gonna take a while before you get to like the 140 range. You have to learn the play skill. If you're coming off like if you know you have the free play skills already, it's a little easier to pick up challenges. I wouldn't say a little easier; it's a lot easier to pick up challenges once you have the free play skills down.
Yeah.
Because most of it's just free play skills, and the other half is memorization of where they are. Unlike free play, where you're just going through. So this is an auto scroller pod race. It's essentially. Oh, sorry.
Is this a good time for a donation?
Yes.
Yes.
So we have $10 from Solus Gamer. Thanks for putting this event on. Shoutouts to my Bionicle run yesterday that was commentated by my boy Twerk. That's all. Thank you for your donation. Currently it's not assigned to a goal or a bid. Solus Gamer, we actually have some auction games we're auctioning off that are CD keys, so if you want to check that out, it's in the LEGOthon schedule. Okay, you can get back to your LEGO Star Wars.
So, continuing with the pod racing, there's one challenge kit that's only appears in the third lap. So even if you miss these kits on this first lap, you still have another lap to get them. So if I do miss one, it's not the end of the world. But if I grab this one right here, I did actually grab all of them. So I just gotta make my way through here, through one more lap, just normal pod racing.
It's kind of unfortunate that you can only grab it in the third lap, just because it would make this so much shorter. You'd basically eliminate this entire lap.
45 seconds faster if it instead appeared on the first lap or second lap.
Yeah, because he would already be done, basically.
And I just have to basically do the any percent version of the pod race, just kind of cruising through. But luckily after this, it brings us to our final two levels. Feed, which isn't too bad. There's a couple of jumps, triple jumps and whatnot there. But then it brings us to Mall, which is the last split in the run and is pretty dang hard. There's a lot to it. we used to actually start on Maul in the route, and that was a very reset heavy level. Very reset heavy because of all the tricks and whatnot in it. So here we go. If you miss this kit, you have to purposely lose the Saboba. And that's very bad. It takes a lot of time. There we go. We got it. And we are on to the last two. Speed is pretty much straightforward. Other than triple jumping, that mechanic, there really isn't. I don't think there's any wall climbs or cliffs, if I can recall. I didn't choose Grievous here, but I don't think there is a wall climb actually that you can do. I should have actually chosen Grievous and showed it off, but do I actually?
Yeah.
No, I don't have them. That's okay.
You don't.
There's a wall climb that saves like a second. But it's definitely not required and doesn't like get you out of bounds for any kits or whatnot, so not too big of a deal. Alright, moving on to the next room. This is all just movement here. There's a kit towards the end. Just want to make sure I don't aggro these guys. But then in the next room, I'm going to have to aggro some of them and do some animation kits. Because I need, if you shoot the statue in the next room early, you're able to, once you get back from, because there's a kit way off to the left side in the next room, you're able to just build the panel right away, not wait for the animation of the bricks coming out, which is actually longer than you might think. So that little animation there, it's actually not too long. Unfortunately, I didn't get the animation cancels fast enough. They got their shields up. This is brutal. If you don't get it the first time around, there we go.
Yeah, and the thing that sucks with this is whenever you die, you get your invincibility frames, but if you animation cancel, you lose those invincibility frames.
Yeah, because you lose your invincibility frames whenever you just switch characters, and animation canceling is switching characters very, very rapidly, but still switching. Alright, moving on to the next room. There's one that's a little bit out of the way. Behind this green little wall plants. Get that. And then there's this room is huge, but there's actually really not too much in it. You come up here, you just take the left side. Yeah, there's 3 in this room. You just take the left side. There's actually nothing on the right whatsoever. Or sorry, I think there's 2 here.
Well, there's the one behind the green wall, and then there's the one right there, and then there's...
Oh, yes, the green wall. I forgot to count that one. I was thinking more of the big room. Oops. Alright. There's a tricky little triple jump, not in this room, but the next room that I'm going to be doing, to grab one of the challenge kits that's up top. Oh, wait, sorry, that's a mini kit. No, I don't even need to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, there's...
Oh, okay, I actually got lucky, and my player 2 decided to grapple up with me. At least I thought
he did come up.
I did see his grapple. I don't know why.
Well, if you do happen to get lucky and he does actually follow you, that's actually the fastest way for it to happen. It'd actually be faster to not go for the wall climb at that point.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the last one's in the last room. You have to watch the cutscene here.
Yeah.
Make sure I manage. Although, actually, no, it's not even worth managing because I did not bring Grievous in this level. This is one that you actually want to bring Grievous to, so you don't have to do management. One for the wall climb and for the management.
You don't want Grievous for Maul. There's a clip. There's Yoda clip.
Oh, yes, sorry. That's free play with Grievous.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hopefully I'll get Grievous to show off the wall climb.
Yeah. I actually happen to get Grievous pretty frequently in Maul.
Yeah, I think he might be. It might be one of those levels where you always get him, like Chancellor. It might be.
Well, I don't always get him, but I get him. I feel like I get him way more frequently than I get Jar Jar, specifically in that level.
Yeah, you know what? Like probably the RNG of getting Grievous or what your high jumper is going to be, kind of depends on the level. Unfortunately, I got Jar Jar here. It's not worth exiting the level to remanage and get Grievous for the wall climb that saves barely any time.
Yeah, it doesn't really say a whole lot. It's more just for swag.
Here's a little double jump clip. That's an interesting one. It's not a triple jump. You double jump into that, and then you clip through that lever out of bounds.
And you can actually just do a single jump into that one I found recently.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And there's a clip through this door, which it's either it works first try or doesn't. I'm gonna try to get this. No. Oh, there we go. Luckily, I didn't hit the backside there either. Unfortunately, I got shot there. Come on, fall down. Alright. This area, oh yeah, there is a little down at the bottom area. Grab this one up top first, then we'll fall all the way down and then do a triple jump back up to the medium platform, which is the end of this section. So fall down here, grab it, and then triple jump back up. Alright, so here's a little showcase of really fast animation hands to push small off. We'll see how good I do this.
Yeah, this is also a pretty difficult thing to do, and it loses a lot of time to miss it.
Come on, yeah. I had a little bit of slowing that. Oh, Maul actually deflected one back at me and killed me. Unfortunately, but he is right up the edge.
Yeah, and another thing that you don't want him to do is if you're a little bit too slow, he will start like fighting back and he'll make his way up the platform.
Which there was a little sketchy. I was going a little slow because for me in controller, I'm hitting the buttons so quickly in succession that it's easy to overlap them and then it just doesn't count the shot.
Yeah, and it's very easy to get like kind of like fumbled up and like forget what you were doing, and it's just it's a little difficult. But he did get it, so.
Alright, little 1P2C in this room. This would be where the wall climb would be, but instead I'm gonna do it. It barely saves any time to wall climb. Little 1P2C to end the run here, and then the two last kits. One's in this room, and then one's in the last room. So this one, so you don't actually have to 1P2C this part. You just flip through the wall here. Unfortunately, you can't do that on every lever though. And right here. And that's time once this hits. There we go. That's solid run. I think that definitely covered almost everything. Missed a couple wall climbs here and there.
Yeah, so it's a 150-108.
150-108. That's solid. I would take that.
Yeah.
It's like 4 minutes off my personal best, which is fine. I had to do a little bit of management at the beginning with my audio.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate. And I believe, I do not know if we are well underestimate. I don't think we're too far underestimate.
11 minutes underestimate, so. But we had all the.
I think we did start a little late.
Yeah. So.